In today's podcast, I will talk about one of William Shakespeare's most well-known plays, Much Ado About Nothing. First, a few words about the play itself. As mentioned before, it was written by William Shakespeare in the last third of the year 1598. According to my interpretation of literature instructor, it was received very positively by general public. However, the critics seemed to generally dislike it. A common comment at the time was, "Much ado about nothing is exactly what the title says. It is much about nothing." Summary of the play. The scene takes place in Messina, where its governor Leonardo is expecting Don Pedro and his court as they are returning from a victorious battle. When the men arrive, one of Don Pedro's companions, Claudio, falls in love with Leonardo's daughter, Hero, while another companion, Benedick, gets into a heated argument with Beatrice, Leonardo's niece. With the help of Don Pedro and Leonardo's approval, a marriage between Hero and Claudio is arranged. As the tensions between Benedick and Beatrice keep rising, their friends arrange a scheme which makes them believe one is secretly in love with the other. Don Pedro's resentful half-brother, Don John, arranges a scheme that convinces Claudio that Hero has been disloyal to him. On the day of their wedding, Claudio publicly denounces and humiliates Hero, who is in fact innocent and hasn't done anything wrong. After the others leave the scene, Benedick and Beatrice declare their love for each other. Don John's scheme is revealed by the village constable and his men, who reveal the truth to Claudio and Leonardo. Leonardo reveals that Hero has died after her humiliation. However, should Claudio marry his other niece, who nobody has seen, everything will be forgiven. Claudio agrees and marries the niece, who is revealed to be Hero, alive and well. Soon after, Benedick and Beatrice announce that they will share the wedding day with the new couple as husband and wife. The play ends with the arrest of Don John and everybody dancing merrily. The main focus of today's podcast will be on the relationship between Beatrice and Benedick. Their relationship is presented as one that is way more complicated when compared to normal relationships such as the one of Hero and Claudio. Hero and Claudio's relationship seems way more traditional in a sense. They fall in love, get married, even though it might seem a bit rushed by today's standards. But Beatrice's and Benedick's relationship is far from ordinary. Their relationship doesn't start with love, as they don't really seem to get along with each other from the beginning, and Beatrice even throws shade on his name before he's even introduced to the audience. This would indicate that she is actually interested in him, but doesn't really know how to express her emotions. They don't seem to agree on anything, except on marriage. They both don't want to get married whilst they live. Benedick even states, "I will die a bachelor," which means he would rather die than get married. Governor of Messina, Leonardo, says to Beatrice, "I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband," which means he hopes to see her married. To what she replies, "Not till God make man of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward maw? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred," which means she won't marry at all. Despite their initial thoughts on marriage and their initial behavior towards each other, there is an obvious change around halfway through the play. This change mainly occurs due to the interference of their friends. Leonardo, Claudio, and Don Pedro, together with Hero and her maids, arrange a scheme that will convince Beatrice and Benedick that they are secretly in love with each other. It all begins when Benedick stumbles upon Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo while they are discussing how Beatrice is secretly in love with him but would rather die than confess her love. Upon hearing this, Benedick says to himself, "When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married." This is a pretty big shift in his ideas from previous statements. Something similar occurs to Beatrice as she overhears a conversation between Hero and her maids. During this staged conversation, Hero, along with her maids, are talking about Benedict and how he is secretly in love with Beatrice. Beatrice, after hearing all of this, says to herself, "Benedict, love on, I will have to requite thee." This means that if Benedict keeps loving her, she will eventually have to love him back. It is due to this scheme that Benedict and Beatrice are drawn closer together. The real turning point in their relationship, however, occurs right after Claudio publicly humiliates Hero at their wedding. Beatrice is very shocked by this event and feels very bad for Hero. It is after all the other characters leave the stage that Benedict and Beatrice, who are left alone, declare their love for each other. Beatrice, who was up to this point always witty and humorous, in all seriousness asks Benedict to kill Claudio. Because Beatrice considers this request as a proof of his love, Benedict accepts and challenges Claudio to a duel. Afterwards, he returns and tells her, "I love thee against my will," which means he feels forced to love her. The next time Benedict and Beatrice are together on screen is during Claudio and Hero's wedding. Benedict asks Beatrice in front of everybody, "Do not you love me?" To this, Beatrice replies, "Why no, no more than reason." From this, we can conclude that Beatrice is too proud and won't go back to her word in front of the crowd. They will probably never get married if not for Claudio and Hero, who start singing poems and sonnets which convinces Benedict and Beatrice to get married. The biggest difference between Benedict and Beatrice's relationship versus that of Claudio and Hero's is that Benedict and Beatrice are drawn closer together with the help of their friends, whereas Claudio and Hero's relationship almost falls apart due to the interference of others. Despite getting married in the end, I believe their relationship will stay the same and they will continue to display their personalities during the marriage. What I mean by this is that getting married won't change their attitudes toward each other, and that Beatrice will still remain a witty and humorous lady, while Benedict will sometimes get annoyed with her and perhaps call her something inappropriate in return. I am actually pretty interested in how their relationship would turn out should William Shakespeare have written a part 2 of the story. I wonder if their personalities would eventually take over and ruin their marriage, or would their love be strong enough to find a way to keep coexisting. A thing to consider is that they would probably never have gotten married if not for the interference of their friends. I wonder how their relationship would continue without outside interference and quote-unquote help of their friends. In my personal opinion, I believe their relationship would fall apart without the help of their friends. I simply don't see them settling down and living happily ever after as a married couple. Especially in their older age, I believe both of them will become very grumpy and will get annoyed with each other very easily. This is why I believe their relationship will sooner or later fall apart unless it were saved by an outside interference. Looking at the relationship from this angle makes me sad because it seems that they need their friends in order to make the relationship work. After thinking a bit deeper about the play and their relationship, I believe that they weren't deeply in love and that their love didn't come from within, but was rather situational due to the circumstances created by the characters. To summarize, I believe that Benedict's and Beatrice's relationship is the most complex and interesting relationship of the whole play. In the beginning, they are very hostile towards each other, but still, they display some sort of affection towards one another. The scheme of their friends eventually leads to them falling in love and marrying one another. Their bond only seems to strengthen with the interference of others. However, I believe their relationship won't last forever as both of them have very strong personalities that cannot exist without help of others. This podcast was brought to you by myself, Andrzej Fershajin, as a part of my Interpretation of Literature podcast assignment. I hope you have learned something new and that the information provided was useful. Thank you for listening to my take on Benedick's and Beatrice's relationship in Much Ado About Nothing.
Bensound.com